Jonathan.
And I'm Beth.
And we're Mickaboo volunteers. And along with Cookie and Molly and Lou, we're going to tell you about one of our favorite parrot species, the African gray parrot. African gray parrots are a medium-large parrot that come from equatorial Africa around the region known as the Congo. There are two species, the Congo African gray, which are a bit larger and can be recognized by their all-black beaks, and the Timna African gray, whose beaks have a bone color mixed in with the black, and their tails are slightly different shade of red than the Congo's. Their status in the wild is threatened, with three major causes being habitat destruction, the civil wars that flare through the area, and the pet trade, which captures thousands of parrots annually, most of whom die in the process. Fortunately, international and local conservation efforts are making an impact in reducing this poaching and depredation.
In the world, grays spend a lot of time finding food and water. At home, we meal feed the birds rather than leaving food out all the time. It approximates their feeding cycles in the wild. To further this, we provide toys that hide nuts or fruit or one of their pellets. This is called foraging. They go around the cage looking for food when they wish a snack.
In captivity, grays thrive on a mix of high-quality pellets, like Harrison's or Zupreme, fresh vegetables, and a little bit of fruit and an even smaller amount, perhaps, of nuts or seeds as training treats. They're social learners, so they like to eat what we're eating. I'm going to have some yummy broccoli. Would you like some yummy broccoli? Eating yummy broccoli together. This is how we do meals here. We start with some high-quality pellets, add some freshly chopped vegetables and maybe a few other yummy things, and then we've got breakfast. Or dinner. Hey, Molly, want some breakfast? There you go. Oh, boy. Lou had been starving when he was surrendered, and when he came to us, he was very protective about his food and his feeding station. We had to work with him and give him a sense of control and let him know that we weren't going to take his food away. It took some time, but now he's doing great. Parrots will teach you patience.
Because grays are so smart, like the other parrots, we need to give them something to do. As we are all experiencing with COVID, sitting around with nothing to do for hours and hours, day upon day, is unpleasant. So we enrich their daily lives with all sorts of toys to shred and to puzzle out. They all love when we sing and dance to music, and we share with them a large variety of recorded and live music. We even watch movies. They all have particular favorite spots to watch from, and sometimes I just sit with them and talk. Feels a little odd as they all stare at me frozen with one unblinking eye. But they often say or do something the next days that shows they had learned something. It can be funny what they come up with. This morning Lou told me, "You are a Wookiee." Cookie says a lot of words as well as numerous computer game noises. He is our best talker using human words. How are you? And he even helps train the dogs, Otto and Sabrina. Lou prefers noises and whistles. Molly is our quiet one. She has said a number of different noises and some words. But for some reason, she'll only say one word for weeks until she forgets it and goes on to a new one. Right now it's woo. It's a pretty funny sound. It is important to know how special these birds are, even when they don't talk. Dr. Irene Pepperberg has done a lot of research on bird intelligence working with African grays. You may have heard of a famous gray named Alex. He and his gray buddies have shown the world that African grays are one of the brightest on the planet, understanding colors, shapes, numbers, even a sense of self, understanding zero, and much more. Along with MIT, another one of the study's birds learned how to work a simple computer to play different types of music, movies, and other leisure activities during the day.
This is a pretty complex puzzle toy. It's got 3 levels, and you have to manipulate a slider to get it to fall through and then pull on a lever. So if you put a nut in, then you have to manipulate the slider and get the nut to fall to the next level, manipulate the slider again, and then pull to get it to drop out where you can reach it. Cookie has found, however, that if he gives things a good shake, he can often get it to fall just right, and then a little pull, and he's set. Got it. Wow. We've already talked about grays being smart. They're also sensitive, and I think that goes along with high intelligence. By sensitive, I mean several things. They're sensitive to new things. They tend to be extremely cautious. There's a joke with a lot of truth in it that it takes at least a week and sometimes months to introduce a gray to a new toy or perch. You often have to start with the toy 8 or 10 feet away from the bird's cage, moving it slowly closer day by day until they're comfortable with it just outside the cage. Of course, some toys are more easily or even immediately accepted, and some birds are more easygoing. Beth is really good at introducing new toys to our birds, and she plays with the toys excitedly to get the parrots interested. But you can see the difference in Cookie's body language when she presents him with a really new toy, which she got him interested in, but not enough to feel okay with it being close. Notice that he leans away. And a type of toy with which he's familiar. He doesn't move away, and he's soon happily destroying it. Molly, our female, is remarkably chill for an African gray. She also doesn't talk. She's the exception that proves the rule, and is great for pointing out that not all grays are alike. On the other hand, the more completely routine-bound they become, the more difficult changes are. So as parents, we have to balance making changes to keep them flexible with providing constancy in their environment. Life with grays is a balancing act. They're also sensitive to their flock, us, and our emotional states. Don't be surprised if your gray is nervous or bitey when you're angry, for example, or tries extra hard to get your attention by doing funny things when you're feeling blue. And of course, their sensitivity extends to how we treat them. We know that positive reinforcement is much more effective and more fun for all involved than punishment or coercion. It's true for all animals, us humans included, and it's especially true for grays. As with all parrots, anything you do that makes you resemble a predator, including fast movements, or appear threatening or dangerous, damages trust and your relationship with your bird. Grays really thrive on attention. As I said, positive attention is best for everyone, but like children, if negative attention is all they can get, then that's what they'll learn to do. It helps to think of 3 kinds of attention and interaction, and grays really need all 3. First, one-on-one time. This is what we usually think of when we think about attention and interaction. It's doing things with your bird. Hanging out talking with them, training, having one of them on your hand while you walk around, interacting directly with them. A lot of our one-on-one time with our birds is training time, and that's a helpful routine for all of us. This includes things like stepping up, targeting, which is using a target stick to indicate where to go, and doing turns and some gymnastics. There are other things we'll be working on in the future. This is something that Cookie invented. We call it step turn. We were just working on moving from one perch to another, and he decided to do this, and then he did it consistently all the rest of the night. When the distance is bigger, he psychs himself up. The second type of attention is shared attention. When you're in the same room as your gray, doing your own thing, like reading or playing a game, but you sometimes interact directly, talking to them, going over to give them a treat or move a toy. You're not fully focused on them, but there's some connection. This is a lot of what being in a flock is like, doing what you're doing while staying in touch. We watch movies with our birds. They each like to take a perch where they can see what's happening, and sometimes we talk with them about what's going on. When we don't, it becomes the third type, ambient attention, which is just hanging out in the same space. Parrots like to observe other flock members going about their day. Greys are also sensitive to changes in their environment that signal the onset of breeding season, and they can become hormonal, which can lead to increased aggression, egg-laying in females, which can be a serious health issue, and plucking. Greys may also pluck out of boredom or neglect, as well as other physiological reasons. With that said, many birds who pluck are happy and well-adjusted. If you adopt a bird who plucks, work with your vet and provide lots of interaction and an enriching environment, including foraging. Lou was moderately plucked when he came to us. He's far less stressed now, and most of his feathers have grown in, but a few of the follicles are so damaged they won't grow back, and we have to actively manage him to keep him from becoming hormonal and starting to pluck again. Thanks for being with us. We hope you learned something today about African gray parrots, and that we'll see you soon as part of the Mickaboo community. Bye!